So, do you guys like this creepy aesthetic? Probably not, but okay. So, what I want to talk on is this may come as a shock to some people, and I don't know. I don't know if you can even hear me because there's fans going on. There's trucks whizzing by outside. There's people at a bar. It's 8 p.m. 8 something. This is a creepy aesthetic. This is creepy lighting. It's just sometimes it's something I like to do. Usually, when I talk about more serious things, I tend to like to put this kind of like lighting in effect. Um, so here it goes, right? So, does anyone listening know what alien disclosure is? Does anyone that is watching believe in the existence of extraterrestrials? Now, that's a weird question, but I'm asking that question. Do any of you watching, do any of you watching, have you had or do you know anyone who has had a form of contact with any extraterrestrial beings? If this is a question, this is just a question, okay? Um, and also, again, do you understand what alien disclosure is, or do you even have you even heard about disclosure? so, some people be like, disclosure of what? I like this lighting. It feels like I'm by a campfire or something. It's like a campfire sort of a spooky story, ghost story type of thing. Um, but do you know what disclosure is? This it may sound completely insane to you, right? Okay, and I'm not gonna give any info. I'm not gonna give anything about myself. I'm not gonna give up anyone's name or relationship or anyone who I may know that has had contact with in other that has had contact with a being or beings that is not was non-human. That was something that was intelligent, obviously apparent to them that it had abilities that were not in the realm of what you could call humanly possible, because they can do things like walk through walls and do levitation and levitate people and do all types of things that sounds crazy and sounds sci-fi, but that's what these beings do. So it's and by looking at one in the face in it, or from a distance, it's clear and evident that this is not a human being of any sort, or seemingly of any sort. But you get the point. This it's not hard to understand. And if you see it, you could never unsee it. Someone that has seen these things would they can't ever unsee. Not that you'd want to, maybe, but it's what's the word? It's unmistakable. Okay, you're not going to doubt that you had the experience. Um, so with all of that being said, the reason why I believe in pushing disclosure, the reason why it is because of this, right? It really simply boils down to the fact that I do have a conscience. Now, when you start talking about extraterrestrials and you start talking about things that people consider not real and consider that you have a mental issue if you believe in these things, you're kind of putting yourself at risk for judgment. But you know what? I'm at the point where I really don't care what judgment people, what they think or whatever. Um, because this stuff is real, and if you never believe it, and if you're in your lifetime, if you never see evidence of this stuff, it doesn't matter because you're gonna die, you're gonna pass on, and sad that you didn't get to see anything, but there's going to be a generation of people where it's going to be more apparent, and it's going to be common knowledge, and they're going to be able to actually see these things. So you're actually you're actually the one missing out on something. Um, That's one aspect of this. Another aspect, again, is I will say again, having a conscience. I have a conscience. And I might not give two craps about a lot of people. And I might hate people with a passion. And I might really, really hate men with a passion. Especially white men. Just being real. I don't have I mean, it doesn't matter to me. You know, you can say, oh, what are you racist? I'm going to go a little bit into that too. No, I'm not racist. The thing is, this is just practicality. If I understand, because I understand numbers, okay, if I understand that it's more common for a white woman that I would be attracted to not be attracted to me and be attracted to a white man more so, and have probably already had either children, a child, or kids, or even have married one of these Caucasian men, because you know there's all types of races in this world. Caucasian is just one of them. It's more likely that the type of women that I'm interested in have more of a, I don't even know how to say it, a more numerical chance. I don't even know if that's a word, but they have more of a chance of dating, have dated, or being interested, or choosing most likely. Because there are some white women that just typically date black men for some reason. They don't seem to like white men, which is weird. But that would be the best case scenario. But I've never experienced that before, really. So, well, so I did sort of, but not really, not a lot. So, you got to understand, this is about practicality. It's not about personal. Because if it was some woman that all they were interested in, or more so what they were mostly have dated or with or whatever, or what was mostly around me to compete with, was friggin' Native American men. And I do have Native American genes in me, so I would hate I would hate them just as much as I hate any man. It just so happens that in this time, in this day and age, and in this literal time period, white men are on the menu. And what I mean is on the menu is mean white men are the most dangerous competitor out here where I am, which I will have to stomp on. Sorry to say, but I'm gonna have to stomp on their skull and stomp on their throat and slit the neck and tear all of that trachea out and everything, because you know you have to kill your competition. You know, there can't be any mercy, because a man's not going to show you mercy. A man will literally sit up in a house with a woman, and he could literally be the most a-hole man, treat her kind of like crap, and he will bang that woman every night and not care what any of, he doesn't care what man has feelings for her, might know her, might this, that. So I don't have any remorse either. Not for human beings. There's no remorse. You know, it's like I have friends and comrades and companions, but when it comes down to someone who is an adversary to me, there is no remorse. Man, woman, or child, there's no remorse. I'm that guy. You can judge me, but I'm telling you right now, look me in my eyes. I'm that dude. And if you want to come see me, you can come see me. And you find out firsthand. Okay, so I hope that makes any sense to you, but I'm that guy. So just to say, people already blew your chance. I have nothing for you. I work with people, but there's no inherent, there's no, how do I say this? There's no like inherent, I'm going to feel sorry for you or give you some type of pass or some type of leeway because we're both human beings. That's already effing done. That is done. If that ever existed in me, it is done by now. Okay. But one thing I do kind of, what does kind of hit my conscience is the fact that the concept of that there are these races of these beings, and there's so many of them, and the very fact that people don't even believe they exist is a problem. Because when you don't, when you, if something has no voice, sort of has no voice, then who's gonna really be a voice for them? You know what I mean? um and the way I see it is, you know, my conscience, or if I ever had one, is already ruined when it comes to people. But when it comes to these other beings, there is still some semblance of something still there. So I look at it like the least I could do, as crazy as it sounds, is at least try to promote things that would cause disclosure to come about, because um, it just bothers me. It bothers me the fact that people actually actually believe that human beings are the only intelligent beings that are on this planet. You crazy as hell if you actually believe that. I mean, it may sound crazy. That's crazy, but I'm telling you, that's just as crazy as me thinking that pigeons don't exist. It's just like that. It's like, you really think that these things don't exist, huh? So you really just have not had any. Okay, so well, if I throw a pigeon at you, then you know, I'm not saying I'm going to throw an alien at you, but you go in the right place in the right time in this planet, and there's many places in this planet. There's parks, there's forests, there's resorts, there's all types of things where you may have an encounter with something, and once you have that encounter, you're going to shut your fat mouth. That's when you shut your mouth. And it's happened to so many other people. They didn't believe in this, didn't believe in that. Then they had an encounter, and now they know that it's real. So what I'm trying to do is do something that is something that's admirable, not because I want to look like I'm a good guy, not because I want to seem like less of a friggin' monster. No, I'm doing this because it actually, just like the actual emotions that are positive that I have towards some people that are real, this is real for me. This is something that I feel needs to be talked about, needs to be spread, and I'm not going to go too far, but subtly, if I can try to promote things that get that message out and that will cause people to at least just think or maybe do some research, um, then that's something that I am interested in doing and I feel is a good thing for me to do. Okay, okay. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Don't look at it like it's a bad thing, you know. And it's kind of funny because like sometimes I think the same of people. Like, why are you trying to like promote this? Like, you're trying to like feed the starving kids. You're trying to do this. You're trying, and honestly, that's some other stuff too. Where um I do have somewhat of a conscience when it comes to that too. Like it's like when you're talking about like adults, I really, there's really not a lot of sympathy there. There's really not much there. But when you start talking about like kids in a certain area, like children, simply because a child has not developed yet to exactly be an adult, there is some innocence there. And by the virtue of that, I do have somewhat of a conscience there. Like it's very hard for me to hear about things like kids being sold into sex slavery in other countries and kids starving and kids this and that. It kind of that type of stuff does bother me. I don't like try to necessarily. I don't try to promote that so much because everyone already knows about it. Kids exist. No one's gonna say, "What's that? Is that sci-fi?" No, like come on, you probably have kids yourself, so I don't have to promote that. You already know what to do. You already know what's right. You already know that there's kids in this world that are suffering. You already know that. Now, what you don't know about is you don't know that there are beings in this world that are non-human that exist. That there are some of them that are extremely dangerous and they're extremely, I'll just say the word, evil and aggressive, and they are violent and they do horrible things just like some people do horrible things, and you don't want to be near them. And I mean, from a like practical perspective, if you saw one, and I'm not saying all, I'm saying some of them, if you saw one and you felt unsafe, then you might as well kill the darn thing and blow its head off like you would do any other rapist or murderer or whatever that was thinking they were going to try to get the jump on you and take advantage of you and your family or whatever, because that's what some of these beings will do. Um, and I'm not saying they're not intelligent, because they are, but they're like wild animals and they're brutal and they're warlike and they're crazy. And when I say crazy, they're crazy and they will. I'm not going to get graphic, but they'll do all types of things. Okay, but then there are some that are of the same species or race, and they're peaceful and they don't hurt people like that unless they like would have to, unless you tried to harm them or harm a child of theirs or just like a person. And people don't believe these things exist because they simply just don't know because they're ignorant of it. They're ignorant of that fact. They don't know. Um, and there are some that are so human that you wouldn't be able to tell them from another human being. You maybe, but you practically wouldn't. So there's all types. But the thing is, you don't believe they exist. And then a lot of times, some of these beings do get killed. They do get murdered. They do get shot down and gunned down and do get captured, and things do like that do happen. Um, and that's wrong. And that's wrong, man. And it's wrong. It's wrong when an innocent one gets dealt with a certain type of way simply on the basis of what it is. See, that's what really bugs me because that's like it's just like certain types of racism. And I'm not talking about like war and other things where it's not really racism. It's practicalism. It's like literally, oh man, these race of these guys or women and these they think they're gonna come in here and they're gonna take what's ours and they're gonna like interbreed and they're gonna outnumber us and they no, that's not happening. Matter of fact, everybody's gonna die. You're not gonna come in here and think you're gonna take wives and I'm not gonna have a wife and you're gonna have a little family and you're gonna get her more attached to you and you're gonna have more kids with her and make and trap her and all this. No, we're gonna fucking excuse my friend. The curse came out. I tried not to curse it. I got too passionate. You think you're gonna pull that? Well, we're gonna kill all of you dudes, whatever you think you are, Caucasian, African, whatever you are, you're done. Steve is gonna rip your trachea out. I'm tearing it out. You're done. Even if that's just saying that in a symbolic way, you're done. You might as well just lay down, give it up because you're done. With me, you're done. You know, in that because I'm a warrior. I'm a real warrior. I'm not about no talk. See, the mentality is always there. I can go from being nice and rational and go straight into war mode in a second because I understand the necessity of that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact of that something just is not a human being, doesn't look like us. And some people, not even just people that know about these things and that are in governments. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just general normal people who just don't know any better. And their first response is to like whip out, a weapon and shoot at these things. That's their first response. And that's not always a good thing. In matter of fact, it'll get you killed sometimes because you don't know what the situation really is. Like you think there's one, and there's like six of them. You know what I mean? You think there's maybe two or three, and there's like 20 of them, and you go missing. Things like that happen. So that's a thing too. Or sometimes they don't retaliate. You don't go missing. You shot something. Maybe it ran off. Maybe you thought that it didn't die, but it died later. But the thing, it could have been innocent. It could have just been innocent. It could have maybe not been aggressive or going to harm you. But because you didn't know what it was, and you think this is just some wild animal or this is some monster, you just blasted the thing into oblivion. And that's just like me blasting a person into oblivion. It's like if a guy is at the store and he's just minding his own business, you know. But the thing is, I know what a person is. I'm not dumb. I'm not insane. I know what a human being is. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I know what a cat is. I know what a dog is. I'm not going to just pull out some weapon and just blast some person or pet into oblivion. But that has happened to certain beings, and it was pointless. And they have family too. That's the thing. These beings, just like if you see, like for instance, if you see a pack of dogs, those dogs have puppies or they have families. So it's kind of retarded. It's like just like people have family, these beings have families. Okay, so it's a complex thing, and this is the reason why I believe this is an important thing, because I'm not so ruthless that I don't care at all. Like I don't just not care about everything. Okay, um, so that's what I'm trying to say. Hold on, I think I'm gonna pause this real quick. And the gods of Rachel Starr said, "Let there be light." one video, it's the gods of Kelly Divine. Then it's the gods of Rachel Starr. Most people wouldn't even get that joke because you don't know who Rachel Starr is. You don't know who Kelly Divine is. Okay, so I had to put something in my mouth. No homo. But so I think I'm gonna cut the rant here. I hope you get the point. This is so I heard. Okay, I don't know if this is true, but I heard on YouTube that YouTube hides videos that are conspiracy based in nature, or hides videos that talk about things such as like alien disclosure and conspiracies and anything that has to do with things that are more of a, I don't know even what to call, fringe nature or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So YouTube probably never would hide a video of mine anyway. Not just because I'm black. I don't know. But I'm saying YouTube probably wouldn't hide a video of mine because simply I'm just probably too unknowledgeable and ignorant of knowing how to work the algorithm, so it's probably my fault. I'm not blaming YouTube. I think if my video doesn't get views, it's simply my fault. Okay? But, I believe it's something to think about because, it's kind of weird, that a video would be suppressed because of its nature. So, this is your host, Steve from the back. This has been a somewhat, well, technically it's been a cryptid rant, but it's been a disclosure rant. I don't even know what the heck I'm going to title this. I don't even understand how I'm going to try to, put the tags on this video. I'm watching this face paint off, taking these contacts out. So, I hope you took something from this video, and like, comment, and subscribe, and have a nice day, or night.